that you've drawn later. How does that make you feel going into this final competition?
See, that's where Peter Jensen comes in, because I have to deal with that. That's the luck of the draw, and I have to deal with that. We have to turn things into positives, and the one positive thing is that at Skate Canada, that was the pre-Olympic event. It was the exact same draw, and I skated 2 people after Brian Boitano, and I won that long program. So I have to think of that and how I felt about that. I like to finish before everybody else anyway, but skating after him, I have to deal with that.
Thanks for stopping by.
Okay.
ABC Sports and the Olympics, a long-standing partnership. Again at the Winter Games of Calgary, the Olympic tradition continues. Their mothers gave them both the same first name, Brian, and the talent they've been given is as close to equal as can be. Brian Boitano of the United States leads in the men's figure skating competition with only tonight's free skating left to go. But Brian Orser of Canada is the world champion, expected to reach the climax of his career by winning in the Olympics on his home ice. So Brian will win the gold tonight. But which Brian will it be? In less than 7 minutes, the 1,500-meter speed skating race begins, and first off the mark will be young Eric Flame, the phenom from New England. He's narrowly missed a medal in 2 events, but has a realistic chance tonight to win one for the USA. The ice on the bobsled runs at Canada Olympic Park is the fastest of all the ice in Calgary. Today, the 2-man competition began, and among the drivers was Prince Albert of Monaco, with no princely perks today, just his talent and courage as he competes with the best in the world. We'll be going 3 young Americans and a Canadian champion, and right now live, here is Katarina Witt. She's with Donna DeVerona. Donna?
Thank you, Jim McKay. And we were just listening to the speed skating results, and your countryman Hoffman is leading halfway through the competition. You must feel delighted.
Oh, I feel good. I hope he can keep this position.
And you've been practicing. You just arrived. Your music is Carmen. We've talked a lot about the fact that Debbie Thomas also skates to the same music. What are your best hopes for here? You are the defending champion of the Olympic title. What do you hope to accomplish here?
I hope I can do my best, and so I can defend my title. And, well, I think the best will win.
And you're going to go to the World Championships after, and then no more Katarina Witt. We're not going to get to see you skate anymore. Is that true?
Well, that's true, because then I want to do my study. I started in study for an actress 2 years ago, but I think maybe I can do
the United States by the narrowest of margins over Brian Orser of Canada, the world champion. Then 3 Soviets, Fadeev, Petrenko, Kotin, and Filipowski of Poland. Now, those are the standings going through. There's Christopher Bowman of the United States in 7th place, and Paul Wylie in 11th. Now, the order of skating in the final group, this is not the first people we'll be seeing skate, but in Group 4, here is the way they'll skate. Brian Boitano will come first, then Fadeev for the Soviet Union, then Brian Orser, so he'll have the opportunity to watch Boitano skate before he does. Then Filipowski, Kotin, and Petrenko. Dick Button is standing by in the stadium right now. Dick, what does this draw mean in your view?
Well, there's a little bit of advantage and disadvantage to it. The advantage is that the skater comes up right out of the warm-up. He's ready and he's hot. The disadvantage is that he has to consider that his marks will not be quite as high as they might have been. The judges have to hold them down in case somebody else skates brilliantly afterwards. Also, he doesn't have to wait those awful minutes while other people are skating. You know, there's something very special about this event. This is called the freestyle event, but it's not really free. The men are not really free not to skate the 6 to 8 very demanding triples that they feel are necessary. That means that if there's going to be trouble tonight, it will occur during these triple jumps. Some of the skaters, however, will be able to rise above it and give us a performance. And between the 2 Brians, the one that gives us the best performance will win this event, and with it the gold medal. Now remember, there are certain special characteristics about the 3 top skaters. Let's take a look. Boitano, Orser. Brian Boitano is a fine technician with an imposing and impressive style. He performs a complicated military program with many moods and sections. He must go all out to win the gold tonight. He simply cannot hold back. Brian Orser is a superb jumper and spinner. He has a loose, quick, and fluid style, but he must maintain emotional control. In other words, he has to keep the lid on. Aleksandr Fadeev is a fast, quick, and rapid-fire skater. He has a pounding style that is typically Soviet. He's a great jumper, but he's struggling now, perhaps due to leg injuries. His position is threatened, and by his own countryman, Viktor Petrenko.
Next stage is Brian Orser. He's the favorite. He's on his home ice. He is also very, very much on the spot. Let's take this opportunity to meet this young man, Brian Orser of Canada, up close and personal.
I've always been a small-town person, so the peacefulness of Orillia has been ideal for me.
Orillia, Ontario is Brian Orser's hometown, and it's peaceful mostly, but that doesn't mean it's totally lacking in action. Small-town Brian Orser is big city Brian, too, some of the time, owner of a health food restaurant in Toronto. It could be the start of something big.
One day, amateur figure skating will be over for me, and I'm going to need something else to go into. And we plan to go on and build this business by more franchises and possibly get into other things also. But this is a start, and it's a small start, but I see it growing. And if I sort of apply myself in the same way I have with the skating, then I can see it being very successful.
Brian credits much of his success to his father, Butch, an extremely successful self-made businessman.
My father started off at the bottom and became very successful, and he never changed as a person. And I think that I've been the same way. I've been the same person 10 years ago as I am now, even with success and with being world champion. I feel it's very important to remain yourself and just to be Brian Orser.
It's no wonder he loves Orillia. Orillia loves him, to the point that his longtime practice rink there now is named the Brian Orser Arena. And in 1985, he was awarded the Order of Canada.
The Order of Canada is probably the highest honor you can receive in Canada. It's towards anybody that has done something spectacular in their field. It was not awarded to me for being world champion or being Canadian champion. It was for being an ambassador of Canada, which is something very special. When I look back at skating, when I'm a senior citizen, I mean, that'll be such a small part of my life when you look at my entire life. And, you know, you have to be ready for it. Once skating is over, it's a big world out there, and you have to be ready for it.
Small town boy, big city man, entrepreneur and ambassador, and perhaps an Olympic gold medalist. That's Brian Orser. In a minute, we're going to be checking in live with the man who won the gold medal. And there he is, live in Lake Tahoe, California. He won the gold medal 4 years ago. Scott Hamilton, we'll be with you in a minute, Scotty, right after this ABC News brief and a word from your local station. Hamilton. You remember him? 5'3", 110 pounds, out of Bowling Green, Ohio. Young man who had
good
known much
position.
illness
Look at how straight the
as a child, grew into a champion. Well, today he's skating professionally. He recently starred in an exhibition with other Olympians in Paris, which you saw on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
But what matter? What matter?
But this was the scene in Sarajevo. And there he is as he skates today. Scott Hamilton, Olympic gold medalist in 1984. Well, right now he's at Harrah's in Lake Tahoe, where he is starring in a show. What's the name of your show right now, Scotty?
Festival on Ice.
Festival on Ice. While we were waiting, while we were in commercial, I was watching you on the monitor, and I saw you sigh a couple of times. I saw you bite your lip. Are you getting a kind of a deja vu waiting for this contest to start?
Well, these guys are my friends, it's just, I'm nervous for them. I just hope they skate their best tonight. And I'm nervous about being on all this TV with you guys. All the coverage.
That'll be the day that you're nervous about being on TV. Let me ask you, how do you think this thing is going to happen tonight? What do you...
You know, it sounds like a cop-out, but whoever skates the best is going to win. You know, Brian skates first, Brian Boitano, and Brian Orser skates after, and usually Brian Orser likes skating first better. He likes only thinking about his performance, and when he skates after other skaters, sometimes the nerves can creep in. So it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a real good fight, and Boitano is the most consistent skater in the world, and Orser's got a lot of hometown excitement behind him, so it's going to be a great evening.
Well, again, on the psychological front, which interests me very much, Brian Orser, of course, has his own sports psychologist who travels with him. He does this simulated arena business and that sort of thing in practice, whereas Brian Boitano said, look, for me, that would be a waste of time. What was it for you?
For me, it was... no. It was hard, you know. I knew what to expect. I've been to another Olympics, and I knew what the people in front of me had gone through in 1980, so I kind of knew what to expect, but when you get out there, it's awesome. It really is, and a lot of the external pressures can creep in there no matter how well you've simulated it before you've gone.
If you were backstage right now, what would you say to Brian Boitano as he heaves his sighs?
Oh, you know, he's a great friend, and he's a great representative of the sport. I'd say, Brian, pal, you've been here so many times before. Just go out there and just love it and give the performance that you want to give, not so much the performance that you dreamed about. Just go out and skate the ice.
You feel a little lonely out there in Tahoe?
No, I'm surrounded by a lot of fun people. Ty and Randy are here. We're having a great time. It's a great show. This is my life now. I'm envious of these guys, though. I miss the competition like this, and to see them, my former competitors, still going at it, I kind of would like to be out there with them.
Okay, well, Scotty, say hello to Ty and Randy for us, and I know you'll be watching as the evening progresses. So it draws closer and closer. Scotty Hamilton in Lake Tahoe, California. Now here is Christopher Bowman of the United States warming up. He'll be one of the skaters we'll be seeing very shortly when we come back. Let's take a break and then really move into this. Here is the skating order in Group 3. There are just 2 groups left to skate in this men's competition. First one we'll see is Höner of Switzerland and Fischer of West Germany, Browning of Canada, Zander of West Germany, and then the 2 Americans, Paul Wylie and Christopher Bowman, both outstanding free skaters. There's Christopher Bowman right now. We talked about him earlier in the week. He marches to a different drum, different sort of skater, but he can free skate, can't he, Dick?
Oh, he certainly can. I think he's one of the most talented people in the business. He just doesn't seem to want it with the same kind of direction that some of the other skaters do, in particular the Soviet skaters.
All right, let's have a look then at a very dedicated young man, Paul Wylie of Harvard University.
He is extraordinary. I've never seen such superb positions on any skater. It's just magnificent the way his back is straight up and down when he lands, and the spinning positions that he gets. It's extraordinary.
Paul Wylie, at age 24. Now here is Kurt Browning. Is the latest word that he is going to try that quadruple, Dick?
That's the latest word. He can change his mind right up to the second that he does it. Remember this, that the quadruple jump has never been done. A quadruple jump has 4 revolutions. The most that has been done to date is a triple axel, 3.5 revolutions. And of course, that's in competition. A lot of people have done it in practice, but nobody under such sufficient official purpose situation.
Of course, there had been talk that Brian Boitano was going to do it here, and he and his coach talked about it apparently a long time over the summer. The final decision was not to do it here, but to do it at the World Championships later.
Well, he felt that it just would overshadow his program, that everybody would wait to see whether he did it and not bother to see what else he was doing. And that like the newspaper people would run for the telephone just as soon as he had completed it. Speaking of
Brian
what a quadruple jump performer can look like, here is one, Brian Boitano. There he is.
Looks pretty cool.
He certainly does.
Considering what's coming up.
I don't think his stomach is cool, though, I'll tell you that.
I'm sure of that. When will he be getting into his costume?
Well, I think you back it up in your head. How many minutes does it take that I want to sit in that costume before I'm ready? How many minutes before I put my skates on? How many minutes before I tie them for the second time? And do I tighten them more than once more after that without getting, overdone in any of these stages? That's why the proper order of the event and the perfect running and timing of it is extremely important.
One thing that he knows is he won't have to wait as long to skate as he did the United States Championships, where he didn't skate until well after midnight.
That was a disaster.
Now, Oliver Höner of Switzerland, 10th after the short program.
Incidentally, are double jumps. You can see that there aren't as many revolutions as in the triples. Here's a triple. Nope, it certainly was not.
This young man has been 8-time Swiss champion. He's only 21 years old. His first Olympics.
Kind of skating really isn't in the class with the top skaters that we'll see coming up very shortly. There's an awful lot of weak arm movement that kind of isn't resolved into the choreography, and some of the jumps, like that one, very good. He's certainly got a good physical form for skating, but he's just got to get himself down into really getting some speed and some approach and some attack to the sport, and worry less about some of the superficial choreography.
But I think watching this young man, watching closely, will give you watching at home a basis for comparison to see just how very good the later skaters are. Again, a super enthusiastic crowd there, giving each skater a wonderful reception as they skate in the Olympic Games, the honor of a lifetime, no matter where you finish. Oliver Höner of Switzerland, 10th going into this performance tonight. There is Katarina Witt. She'll be on a week from tonight. Now, perhaps you have not been watching figure skating. Perhaps you've never seen it before. If so, a perfect mark in this sport is 6.0, not 10 or 100. And his marks are from 5.0 to 5.3 for technical merit. Each skater gets 2 sets of marks. This is Höner of Switzerland again. And he seems to say, well, I guess that's about the best I could expect. They're decent marks. Marks being given in French and English. Second set for artistic impression. The first, as you saw, was for technical merit. This for the artistry. And he got a 5.5 from the East German judge. Next competitor, Heiko Fischer of West Germany, Federal Republic of Germany, as it's formerly called, 8th after the short program. 27 years old. He's been around for a while. 4-time West German champion. 10th at Sarajevo 4 years ago. He's had a lot of bad luck. He had a groin injury, and in 1987, last year, he missed European and the World Championships.
And certainly from the costumes he's been skating in around here, he looks like he's making a real statement, doesn't he?
Some sort of statement, yeah.
The music he's using is West Side Story, so I see the point.
That's supposed to be greaser stuff he's wearing.
Well, it's a Germanic view of the west side of New York.
Yeah.
Triple Lutz jump. Of today, Dick, are a long way from the neat white mess jacket you used to wear when you skated. A world of difference. You know, his particular style is really very careful. He's a gallant kind of skater, very precise and very controlled. He doesn't let loose.
Heiko Fischer.
Certainly a very precise performance, wasn't it?
Yes.
Very careful. He took his time to do each of those moves, and he presented them. He did not have the attack or the speed or the flair that either the Soviet or I think the top American and Canadian skaters have.
There's Debbie Thomas, who a week from tonight will be trying to wrest the Olympic crown from Katarina Witt of East Germany. She just came back yesterday, Debbie, was in the opening ceremony, then went home and practiced in Colorado, and then came back again. That is Chris Bowman. Just about to see him stomping around backstage. His moment will strike, right?
He's waiting.
We'll be back for it.
5.4.
The first set of marks for Heiko Fischer of Germany. As you see, 5 4s and 5 5s. 1 5 2 for the Japanese judge, however.
Remember, Jim, the technical merit mark is really what he has done. The technique, the difficult triple jumps, the spins, those elements, as well as how well he did them.
It'll be interesting to see what they give him for artistic impression with that unusual performance, really. Well, some liked it, some didn't.
They're all very nice and steady marks. They keep him in the right range. They did not rise him up. Had he gone at that with attack and power and great technique, I think he would have gotten much higher marks.
All right, now quadruple jumps have been tried, but never successfully landed in competition. Kurt Browning here of Canada, the scheduled heir apparent to Brian Orser, is supposed to be, he has said he's going to try one tonight. As you said, Dick, he doesn't have to. He could change his mind right in the middle of things.
Well, you know, he's a wonderful talent. And he's very loose and fluid, and I think he's on top of it here. My bet is he'll probably go for it. He really has nothing to lose.
He's in 9th place coming to this.
That's right, and the difficulty of moving up is very hard, at least moving up appreciably. But he will certainly get a name for himself if he completes it. And when you can do 2 triples like that at the opening of this wonderful program to Grand Canyon Suite, see the Western influence. Well, he landed it. He didn't fall. Certainly a fall like that or a miss like that does not help him. I don't know how it will put him in, what kind of mind it will put him in as to whether he wants to try the quad, which is planned for later in the program. Triple loop. Now I think if he's going to do it, it will be this next jump.
Nope. Nope.
Well, that was the attempt, and he missed it. It's really tough.
That's the 3rd time he's tried it in competition. Missed every time. seem that long ago that Dick Button was the first human ever to complete a triple of any kind.
Thank you, Jim.
That's triple.
I think we'll call the bluff of everyone. One double axel, two, and a bluff. The quadruple jump, but they love him in Calgary anyway. And he's from Edmonton. Normally, Edmonton and Calgary don't get along, but tonight they're just Canadians. Here's the missed quad, Dick. Now watch the outside edge. Now watch the toe pick and count the turns. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and he's not out. Unfortunate. I think maybe if he'd had a little more power on it, he might have been able to pull it off.
We'll be back. Well, the missed quad doesn't seem to have hurt his marks for technical merit. The crowd likes him from 5.5 to a 5.7.
Well, he did quite a lot of difficult technique there. You know, he's really a very talented skater. If he would begin to develop now into the power stroking that we've seen on some of the other skaters, I think he could really be, right at the top.
He's only 21 years old. He'll be 25 for the next Olympics, which should be right. The artistic impression marks, fine. 5.5s and 5.6s across the board.
5.5, 5.6.
So that's Kurt Browning. Let's go down to David Santee at ringside with him.
Kurt, you almost made history. Tell us about the quad.
Actually, I should have made history. It felt really good. It only takes just a fraction of a second to be too late on that landing, and I guess that's what I was. It was really close, so I was happy with it.
Well, it was a game attempt. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Of those who have skated so far, that puts him in second place behind Heiko Fischer. Now, Richard Zander of West Germany, 12th overall, coming to the final free skating performance. He was actually born in Portland, Oregon, but now is in Cologne, West Germany. Richard Zander was born in Portland, Oregon, and he really grew up in Los Angeles. When he was 16, his parents were divorced. He and his mother moved back to Germany. Yet to come, and getting closer now, the Battle of the Bryans. two Americans coming up immediately after this skater, Wylie and Bowman.
Zander could have skated for either West Germany or the United States. I don't think he would have had as much luck in the United States, where the depth of skating talent seems to be much broader.
Richard Zander, moving through his performance, trying to move up from 12th place.
Jim, that while he was 9th after the compulsory figures, he dropped to 17th in the short program. I think that was an indication that his freestyle is not the best in this competition.
Which, of course, put him 12th overall. Can't say I'm crazy about the music.
Well, I must say I wasn't crazy about the program.
Richard Zander of the Federal Republic of Germany, that's West Germany.
5.2.
There's Brian Orser backstage. We know what costume he'll be wearing now. These are the tense moments. He even simulates these in practice. Now, Paul Wylie of the United States. The marks for Zander of West Germany, 5.2 to 5.6 technical, 5.1 to 5.5 artistic impression. But if you want to see an artistic impression, there should be one coming up right now. Paul Wylie, 11th overall, but he can free skate. There his parents, BL and Bob. Bob and BL left to right.
Wylie really has a fabulous technique. He's precise, bird-like, very light touch. It's really sort of unfortunate that he missed that first triple jump. His second one right here, this will kind of tell the story for the rest of the program, I think. Triple axel, 3.5 revolutions.
Up,
Yeah, and again, you know, he's had a problem all these years of just not being able to do it under pressure. I think that is held true again for him tonight. It's very sad because he really is a superb technician.
He seemed to have overcome that at the U.S. Championships where he won the silver medal.
Yep, he's been steadily performing better. These first two moves not helpful. Very precise and beautiful. Look at this move, lead right into this camel spin.
He certainly settled down after those two tough opening jumps.
That seems to be what he needed. See how clean and neat these are. They're really wonderful. It's a great credit to him, you know, that he can suffer those falls and still come back and skate so superbly.
Him in Canada.
Well, you know, he is such an appealing skater, an appealing personality. He's just very fine, really wonderful.
Born and raised in Dallas, there are his parents who still live there. He, of course, lives in Cambridge, Massachusetts as a student at Harvard. Well, they were happy with that performance. There's Brian Boitano backstage. Both he and Orser have gone to their epaulets for this performance. They're a hug for his choreographer, Sandra Bezic, who, by the way, is a Canadian. It'll be soon. Technical merit marks there. Interesting that the American judge gave him a 5.4. The Soviet judge gave him a 5.7.
I think that the technique was marvelous. The two falls obviously hurt him in those programs. But look at this in the artistic compression. Now you see, those are considerably higher. Very good. Those are his coaches, Evie and Mary Scottfold.
5.6.
That puts him in third place among those who have skated so far. Let's go to David.
Paul, were you looking past the triple flip to the triple axel? I think maybe so, David. I was really nervous backstage. I had to wait 5 skaters and my mouth was glued shut. So I don't know, those things also had a factor. But I never missed that thing.
That was a strong recovery. Nice job.
Paul Wylie, very courageous comeback to 2 falls. Christopher Bowman, he said he marches to a different drum, this young guy. Very Hollywood-like in every way.
Superb height on that.
Trying to move up from 7th place.
Series of jumps. Nice series.
4 years from now in Albertville, Vic, we might be looking at people like Bowman and Kurt Browning of Canada.
I think that's if they want it.
Right? He's only 20 now. Oop.
He has a great dramatic flair. It's not a great Hungarian dance, but it's wonderful drama.
to show business. Christopher Bowman. He was an actor when he was 6 months old in commercials. He knows what to do with an audience.
He's acting it up right now, isn't he?
Yeah. Stars and Stripes for the kid from L.A.
A lot of people standing in the audience. I see a lot of American flags waving.
Oh, yeah, we're watching him.
He really does have flair, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Coming over for his marks now. No, at age 24 years from now, as you say, it's a question of whether he really wants it badly enough, isn't it?
Well, he hasn't shown that. He hasn't shown that yet to this point. But look at this right here. You see, he performs well under pressure. He did beautifully tonight. You know, a couple of minor glitches, but he's a moment skater. He's a competition skater.
Yep. Chris Bowman standing by for the marks. Well, it's a long time out there in that dry Calgary air, I'll tell you. His mouth must feel like cotton. Technical merit, ooh. Nice marks. A 5.4 from Japan, but 5.7 from West Germany and Czechoslovakia.
You see, under normal circumstances, those marks would have been higher, but there's still 6 or 7 really fine powerhouse skaters yet to come, and that's why the marks are being held down at this point. Remember, the next skater is Brian Boitano.
Marks for artistic impression.
Frank Carroll is the coach.
5.7.
Again, excellent marks for Christopher Bowman. A 5.8 from the Canadian judge.
5.7. 5.7. 5.6. 5.8.
And Chris Bowman has taken the lead of those who have skated so far. But yet to come are the top skaters. Brian Boitano now out for his warm-up. Young man from Sunnyvale, California, spends a lot of time in San Francisco. Said he wants to open Boitano's restaurant after that, but why don't we find out a good deal more about it? Let's meet Brian Boitano up close and personal.
I'm interested in cooking. I love eating, of course. Who doesn't love eating? But I am interested in learning how to cook Italian food. I love any kind of breads, so that covers all Italian food: noodles, pasta, everything. And I love cheese. So there you have a pizza right there. I've wanted to open a restaurant for about 3 years now. My favorite thing to do with friends is to go out to dinner and have a nice dinner. And the ambiance is really important to me. And so whenever I couldn't find a good restaurant to go out and take my friends to, I'd say, God, why don't they fix the lights, or why don't they have a different color table? And so that's actually how I got started thinking about the restaurant business.
Brian has a love affair with the city of San Francisco. That's where he lives, in an apartment, and where he'd like his restaurant to be.
One of my most favorite places to go in San Francisco is on the lawn in front of Ghirardelli Square, because you can lay there and watch people. I love watching people. And there's the water right there. You can see Alcatraz. You can see the Golden Gate Bridge. The Golden Gate Bridge is one of my favorite places. The larger-than-life size of it is so attractive to me. The other thing is I've always been attracted to is Alcatraz. Trying to visualize what really happened in Alcatraz is just something that always interests me. You know, there are people who take being successful at their sport or business as that they're different than other people. I didn't take it that way. I learned something more from being successful. I think it humbled me even more, and realized that you could brighten somebody's day by who you were, but in that way you were using it in a good way instead of people using it in a bad way. To Mark.
Brian is a young man of some depth. He cares about other people, like the kids in Oakland Children's Hospital. He hopes they can identify with his success.
To see the look on their face when you say, yeah, I'm going to be in the Olympics. And that dream look, like I've always dreamed of being in the Olympics, comes upon their face. And for that moment, it's just so nice because, you know, you can see in their eyes that they're saying, whoa, this guy's going to go to the Olympics and I actually know him.
Well, that's the kind of young man who's about to skate for the United States. The United States has won the gold medal in men's figure skating 5 times, twice by Dick Button, once each by Hayes Allen Jenkins and his brother David, then a 24-year drought, then Scotty Hamilton 4 years ago. And the moment has arrived, Dick.
This warm-up is really very revealing. Every time Brian Orser skates a jump, the audience roars.
There he is.
I think they are solidly behind him. He must be feeling the warmth out of that crowd.
Canada has never won the men's figure skating gold medal.
Petrenko from the Soviet Union on the ice has been doing some wonderful jumps, and certainly Mr. Fadeev have been having a little trouble.
Well, there's Fadeev.
Not a great smile on his face. He was awfully upset this afternoon when he left the rink after the warm-up practice. I think he's just not felt he's on top of it right at this time.
Soviets have never won the men's gold medal. They've had 2 silvers, Sergei Chetverukhin in 72, Vladimir Kovalov in 76. Tonight they have 3 of them in the running for a medal. Now watch the applause.
By the way, the interesting thing at the short program was that both of these men skated totally different programs. One a jazz program, one a 19th century romantic ballet. This night, they are both approaching each other in the sense that both are doing military-inspired programs.
Boitano was the leader, remember, as they come to the free skating program, but this man, Orser, won the short program, which might have been a slight indication of things to come, but if anybody makes a mistake tonight, probably the other man will win.
Well, if there's any mistake at all tonight on either one's, any major mistake, then the story has yet to be written. The fate has an enormous amount in these 2 performances. I think also the fact is that if they both skated perfectly, that it would be almost impossible under the rules to tie them. There are so many rule breakers, so many tie breakers that exist.
Okay, Brian Boitano.
Remember his program will break into 8 sections. We'll show 8 different changes, 8 different impressions of a soldier's life.
Brian Boitano.
World champion in 1986. Lost that title to Brian Orser in 1997. And now they meet for the big one. Music from Napoleon and Josephine, a miniseries. He said he heard the music and immediately knew it was for him.
Clean as a whistle.
What a lonely place to be. 20,000 pairs of eyes in the arena, and heaven knows how many millions watching at home.
This spread eagle worth the equivalent of any triple jump.
Listen to this. Everything he had was in that. Backstage, Brian Orser hears that.
You know, it simply does not matter what happens. Look at him. He's absolutely going through his own movements. Absolutely going through his own movements.
And he still hears it.
You remember, he was the fellow who told his coach to turn on the shower to drown out the applause for one of his competitors a number of years ago. I think he's working very hard now to keep his concentration steady.
Well, now, Dick, it appears from looking at Brian Boitano that he thinks he skated the performance of his life.
I think he did.
I do, too.
There was only one slight glitch, and that was a 2-foot landing that isn't even worth commenting on. He was brilliant. Just wonderful. You know, he must be very, very proud of himself at this point. It was under control, was beautifully done. Just beautifully done.
That's what makes the Olympics special. You must do it on the given day or not at all. There he is with Linda Lever, his coach. On the right. Oh, boy. Well, there's still room on top, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 nines.
I think the important thing is who gave him the 5-8s. Right. Japan, East Germany, West Germany, and Canada. Again, it doesn't matter whether they're 5-8s or 5-9s. It's how they rate Orser, who has yet to skate.
Absolutely.
These marks again, 5-8s and 5-7 from Denmark. I frankly thought that was a beautifully choreographed, very creative program. Interesting, just all the way through. It was first rate.
Let's go down to David quickly.
Brian, doing a program as difficult as that must have been like walking through a minefield.
I was trying so hard to just take one thing at a time and really not get excited about each thing that I landed. I could have gotten excited about that first jump because I was nervous, but I knew I had to do everything and keep total control of the program, so that's why I didn't break until the end.
Now you'll get to watch and wait.
Yeah.
Well, the judges left themselves room on top for Orser. Now here is Fadeev, former world champion. Aleksandr Fadeev of the Soviet Union, led after the school figures. Third now, not known as a powerful free skater.
Nice. He looks as though he's starting off well, doesn't he?
Yep.
Well, that tells you the story for Mr. Fadeev.
Now Now he is pursued in the standings here by 2 other Soviet skaters. That'll be interesting.
He usually capitalizes on speed and rapid-fire skating.
Judges, remember, gave Brian Boitano 5.9. That would mean that any of them, in order to score Orser higher, would get him to give him a perfect mark of 6.0, which should mean that Orser has to be perfect in their opinion. That's on the technical merit marks. Of dressing the role of the peasant and skating the role of the peasant. Orser kind of thinks that lacks in style. The jumper he used to be. He's been bothered by leg injuries and muscle pulls for a couple of years. You see that kind of a fallout. The second one that he's had is simply not going to augur well for him. An open up out of a jump. He clearly intended to do a double jump, but opened up and only did a single one. Aleksandr Fadeev of the Soviet Union. There's Brian Orser. The moment is upon him. The marks for technical merit for Aleksandr Fadeev, all 5.7 straight across the board.
He's with his coach, Sergei Volkov, the first Soviet skater to win a world title.
World men's title. Right. So there's a 5.9 for artistic impression from the Swiss judge and the Czech judge,
who interestingly enough gave a 5.8 to Boitano.
Yeah. Well, now, here's the man, Brian Orser. At the moment, the standings show Boitano first, Fadeev second, Bowman of the U.S. third. But this is the man of the moment in his native country of Canada.
If he skates brilliantly tonight, it will show that he has completely overcome the fears and nervousness he's had in the past.
Kind of unusual to see him shaking his fist there as he went out to begin the performance. Tells you how much it means to him.
The first two moves will be clear. Brilliant triple Lutz.
Now,
he did not reach back far enough with his free toe pick. Could that cause that?
Could that be the difference?
But everything else, brilliant. I don't think that will make a difference. Brian Boitano also had one 2-foot landing in a triple jump. This was not a major mistake in the overall perspective of the situation. Opens up in the air beautifully for the landing out of those jumps. Superlative. Previous programs, that has been a triple jump. He did a double one tonight. It was intended to be double. It was not an opened up triple jump. Just a little bit tired.
Is this Canada's first Olympic men's figure skating champion? That will be for the judges to decide, and all I know is I'm glad I'm not one of them.
Well, clearly that was a 99 and 99/100% performance. There's his father, obviously very pleased with him, except for that one glitch on that one jump. It really was a first-rate performance. Look at this now, the triple flip jump. Watch him turn the 3, step with the toe pick. Didn't reach quite far back enough, and double-footed that landing and runched around there. But that was not a fall. It was simply just not a good jump. A difficult problem with it, but not an insurmountable one. And this was his double axel. Look at the height and the stretch and the landing. Now that's what he chose to do instead of a triple, but he had done a triple earlier in the program. So there is simply nothing that can be marked off for that. Nothing at all. That was perfect planning on his part. He was taking it carefully. If I had to estimate the way he felt about this program right now, it would be that he felt he had done a good job, not as quite as good as he can.
Here they come, Dick. Excuse me, look at this. 5/8. Not as strong for technical merit.
Oh, wait a minute.
By and large, there were 5.59s for Brian Boitano.
No, Boitano's marks, I think, are higher.
They are.
Yes, they are higher. But that technical merit mark. He
second set to come.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.9s to
right.
only one of Orser's.
Yeah, you got it.
Now this will be the
let's
question.
see.
This will make the difference.
These are stronger than Boitano's, but how does it all come out?
Well,
Boitano has won.
All right.
Brian Boitano has won the gold medal.
There you go. Well, well, well.
David Boitano has won. David, he finished second.
Brian, I have good news for you and bad news. Those were tremendous composition style marks, but you came in second. Your reaction?
I'm disappointed. What can I say?
With the awesome pressure that you were under, what went through your mind in the triple flip?
Just to stay on my feet, I knew that in order to win, I had to stay on my feet and not have any falls at all.
What about the second triple axel, which was a double axel? Did you plan that beforehand, or that just happened?
I knew at the time I was feeling a little bit tired. I thought it's best to stay up than to go down and I lose for sure, but hindsight's 20/20, so maybe I should have tried it.
This Canadian audience was absolutely 100% for you.
Yeah, they were great, worth it. I'm very grateful.
Thank you.
Okay, well, the computer shows that Boitano has won.
Well,
and other skaters yet to come. Now, there is still a medal at stake, you would say. Here's Filipowski of Poland, 6 after the short program, but there are 2 Soviets who were 4th and 5th, one of whom, or it could be Filipowski, could move ahead of Fadeev for the bronze.
Interestingly, Jim, I think that the reason that Boitano won with the closeness of those marks was that they tied over many of the judges, but Boitano won the technical mark, and the technical mark is one of the tie breakers.
Right. Well, as we say, the competition is not over. Grzegroz Filipowski of Poland is on the ice, 5th in the 1987 World Championships in Cincinnati last year. He's the young man who was coming to the United States to train, thought he was going to Rochester, New York, got the wrong plane, ended up in Rochester, Minnesota, and darn if he didn't stay there, and he's been there ever since training. Tonight, the United States has won its first gold and first silver medals of these games. They now have one of each medal, gold, silver, and bronze. silver was won by Eric Flames in speed skating.
Do you see the way he's kind of, said, well, I guess that's it, folks. I guess it's impossible for anyone to come out and skate after those two performances, which were so brilliant. And Filipowski, it just doesn't have the elegance or the overall look to it.
Seemed to be what he was saying. Okay, more skating to come after this message and a word from your local station. Got the first place votes of 5 judges: the USA, Denmark, the Soviet Union, Switzerland, and Japan. Brian Orser got the first place votes of 4 judges. In other words, only a 1 majority there. He got the 2 Germanys, both West and East, Canada, and Czechoslovakia. Now, Scotty Hamlin's been watching all this in Lake Tahoe. Do you think he had it, Scotty, or what?
I'm watching this thing and I'm going, that without a doubt had to be probably the finest technical program I've ever seen in my life. That was amazing. And for Brian Orser to have to skate after that, it's like you guys say, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. It was the most exciting men's competition I've ever seen.
But you would have called it that way?
I definitely would have called it that way. As much as I feel for Brian, he was second in '84 and second again here. it's, you know, he made a couple minor mistakes, and Boitano was just perfect. You couldn't pick anything out of Boitano's program tonight that wasn't perfect.
Well, I asked you what you'd say to Brian Boitano before he went out to skate. What would you have to say to him now, as the guy who won it 4 years ago, and now the USA has won it again?
The greatest feeling in the world is the 10 minutes after you win a championship like this. And I couldn't be happier for him. He's the hardest working competitor I've ever seen in my life, and he's a good friend, and I don't even know what to say. I'm really happy for him.
Okay, Scott, thanks very, very much. Enjoy your evening in Lake Tahoe with Ty and Randy and all the gang. So let's go back to the competition now. I'm in the anchor position, as I have been all evening. Dick Button is in the arena. Vladimir Kotin of the Soviet Union. Now, he was 5th after the short program. He could have a chance at the bronze.
He's a wonderful romantic style to his skating. He's really very cavalier and has a very much of a French influence in this particular program. Brilliant interpretation. Triple jump, even though he did have some difficulty earlier in the program. A great, you know, he has a wonderful kind of flair, very much in the style of the 19th century romantic poet Lord Byron might have been. He's kind of Byronic, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Vladimir Kotin. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station. On the ice is the final skater of this Olympic competition, Viktor Petrenko, a Soviet teenager. He's only 18 years old, but please note that he was 4th coming into this final performance. His countryman, Fadeev, did not skate well this evening. Conceivably, he could move up and get a bronze medal here and stamp himself as one of the stars of the future.
Jim, he is skating phenomenally. Brilliant is the word for it.
Backstage, they're preparing for the medal awards. Brian Boitano, the United States, appears as one.
Oh, look at these jumps, these triple jumps, the back positions, the open palms to the air. It's a very mature skater. Laid-back spin. The only man to perform it here.
So if we had to hazard a the guest towards Albertville in the next Winter Olympics. Could be Bowman of the U.S., Browning of Canada, Petrenko of the Soviet Union fighting it out. As you said, if they all wanted that.
Well, I see strength and power and great promise in this young man. Isn't he happy? Oh, brother.
Okay.
You know, that was the same music, Don Quixote, that John Curry skated to in the 1976 Olympics at Innsbruck. You remember that, Jim?
Yes, I do.
Not as mature a program, but awfully good.
Well, we'll see if he can win the bronze medal, and of course the award ceremony's coming up. There is little Katya Gordaeva, 16 years old, looking more like a teenager there than an Olympic champion. We'll be back after this message and a word from our local station. On tape, the artistic impression marks of Viktor Petrenko and the reaction of him and his coach, Galina Zmievskaya. I don't know which of the two was the happier because he'd done it. Petrenko has moved ahead of his teammate, the former world champion Fadeev, will win the bronze medal behind Brian Boitano of the United States and Brian Orser of Canada. And there's Boitano being congratulated by Paul Wylie, who just
Dorothy
moved out.
Hamill.
Dorothy Hamill, too.
Sir.
Let's see who else is here.
I'm glad you're here. Oh, I told you I wouldn't miss it.
There's Dorothy in the check dress. And yet to come, the award. That's his coach, Linda Lever. She's been his coach ever since he started competitive skating. He's stuck with her all the way.
And Sandra Bezic, who really choreographed these programs that carried him right to the top. What a moment.
So, Dick, what's your reaction to the whole thing?
Well, I will tell you something. I really am just very, very pleased because both of them really skated almost perfectly. Each of them made just the slightest of slightest glitches. I think the fact that probably the reason why Orser came in second was twofold. Number one, he made a more visible mistake in one jump. And secondly of all, I think that his energy level was just slightly down on it. At any rate, the marks were so close that it was a tiebreaker between two judges that did it for him. The tiebreaker, incidentally, was the Danish judge and the Swiss judge. At least that's the way I got it on my marks. But, you know, anyway, it was wonderful skating, and wasn't Petrenko wonderful? And so was Christopher Bowman. You know, I just get really, I just feel terrific when I see skating on this level.
I get the feeling you like your sport.
Oh, I love it. I love it when it's great, and I suffer with it when it's not so great, when it's mediocre.
I've noticed that for the last 26 years.
Thank you.
Dick Button in the arena. We're waiting for the award ceremony. You know, we did not see the second run of the bobsled, so we'll be giving you that result before we leave the air, and we'll have an interview with Brian Boitano, of course. The final standings, and it's official, Brian Boitano of the United States has won the gold medal in men's figure skating. Right now is Jack Whitaker, a man of well-chosen words. You have a proof for us, Jack?
Well, the emotion's so heavy here, Jim, it's hard to get your thoughts together. This the biggest confrontation of this game so far, and it started 4 years ago back in Sarajevo. I think the artistry in this sport has to be disguising the athleticism with style and grace and elegance. And what we had here tonight, of course, was an athletic artist and an artistic athlete. Both of them were excellent, and they put the pressure in the end right on the judges. Now, it's easier to solve the riddle of the Sphinx than to plumb the mind of a figure skating judge. But I think they did a marvelous job tonight. The only way I could improve on the decision would be to cut this gold medal in half and give one each to each of the Bryans. It was a marvelous and tremendous moment here, and right now the Saddle Dome is about to explode once more. It has become an historic place now. The Calgary Flames won't recognize it when they get home. And now with the man who won the gold medal, who wants to open a restaurant in San Francisco and thinks Alcatraz is a nifty place, here's David Santee.
Thank you, Jack. Brian, win or lose, this was your finest hour. It just so happened that you also won.
You know, all I really wanted to do when I came here, it was truthful, is skate my best. I didn't care what color medal I got. I just wanted to come here and do a great all-around competition. Also, I felt so much support from Americans that it was overwhelming, and I consider this medal a victory for all of America, and I want to thank all of America for so much support. It's your medal, too.
You had to sit around and watch Brian afterward. What was going through your mind when he was on the ice?
I didn't watch him. I went into the dressing room and just did my own thing, packed my bag and whatever, because I really had accomplished what I wanted to do. I really wanted to skate well, and I nailed it, and that's all I really wanted. That's all you can really want from yourself in such a high-pressure situation.
Reflecting on the program, the first 2 minutes especially, there was a look of tremendous determination.
The crucial part of the program was the opening 2 minutes. I knew that it would set the whole thing, and after the first 3 jumps were nailed, I thought, geez, I'm skating so well. I'm just nailing it, but I just wanted to keep concentrating. I just wanted to keep going in my focus and keep the momentum of the program, because you never take anything for granted.
Well, we'll be back with the medal ceremony. Right now, let's go to Jim McKay.
Okay, we're going to stay on for that, and then come to you right after. Here come the medals. A Mountie leading them out. It divides a very attractive ceremony here, too. Costumes, the Mounties. That's what it looks like, Brian. And yours in a minute. Most of the people in this crowd, I believe, do not know yet. Is that right, Dick? No scoreboard there to tell them that. Yeah,
it's really a moment, isn't it, Jim?
Yes, it is. The crowd then in the arena still very tensely awaiting the result. Canadians and Americans alike. Ruffles and flourishes. Brian Boitano, no doubt, gulping one more time.
And both of them so deserving of a gold medal here, weren't they?
Mesdames et messieurs, the gold medalist in the men's event.
Dick Pound of the IOC on the left.
From the United
Here he comes.
States, Brian Boitano.
And now the crowd knows.
What a moment for him. What a moment. I will tell you, Jim, sitting here at the base of this arena with the crowd smiling up, it is simply glorious from this spot.
Brian Orser for the silver. And that's what his countrymen still think of him. Now, the bronze medal may be a surprise. And it's announced. There you go. Called sportsmanship.
Bronze medalist in the men's event. The medal bronze.
Viktor Petrenko, at age 18, has won an Olympic medal. Write the name down. 4 years from now in Alberta, France. He should be right there, along with Christopher Bowman. And again, look at little Katja Gordieva. She looks so much younger as a spectator than she does out on the ice when she looks like a mature queen.
Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, Mr. Richard Hum, third vice president of the Executive Board, International Olympic Committee, will present the medals to the victors. Troisième vice-président de la commission exécutive du Comité international olympique remettra les médailles aux vainqueurs.
Steps forward. And here comes the gold. It's yours, Brian. Just as loud for Brian Orser. Couldn't have been any closer. That competition. The two men of the moment. You can see that filled him up a little bit at reception. Two men of the moment and a man of the future, Viktor Petrenko, with the bronze medal. In a moment, for the first time in these Olympic Winter Games, we'll hear the national anthem. First, they're going to give the flowers.
President of the International Skating Union, vice-président de l'Union internationale de patinage, offriront des bouquets aux vainqueurs.
Okay, flowers for the winner. Roses. Silver, and for the bronze. Now everybody has the flowers. They won't last, but the medals will, and the memory.
Please stand and share with these fine athletes their pride in their achievement. Veuillez-vous lever et partager la fierté de ces athlètes. Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, the national anthem of the United States of America, l'hymne national des États-Unis.
First American gold medal of these Winter Games has been won.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Olympic champion, le champion olympique.
Debbie Thomas. Will it be her turn next Saturday night? She'll have to beat out Katarina Witt, the defending champion. If it is. There's Paul Wylie on the right. You know, he had Chris Bowman with him. Wylie had a disappointment in his first two jumps, but he came back and seems to be sharing the victory with his teammates. Brian Boitano, the winner. I don't know how that anthem made you feel, but I, of course, am a dispassionate observer in my job most of the time. switching off music, and they'll probably skate a victory lap for the crowd there in the arena. You know, Scott Hamilton in Lake Placid 8 years ago finished 5th. 4 years later, he won the gold medal. 4 years ago in Sarajevo, Brian Boitano finished 5th. And now he's won the gold, and we'll be back in a minute. They behave very well and skated so beautifully, but this says it all. This man gave it everything he had, and it was just enough. You should sleep well tonight, and we'll see you in the morning.
I think that my preparation for my Olympic program has been in the last 16 years. I think the preparation that I know that I can go out there, I've done it before, and I know exactly what to do. It's inside myself. Visualization is to have fun with. It's kind of like a daydream. It's kind of like when you're going in the car and you're visualizing the American flag going up in the Olympic Games. That's a visualization to me.
Olympic Winter Games continues.
Good evening and welcome to our continuing coverage of these 15th Olympic Winter Games. A gigantic day for the U.S. here in Calgary, and we were certainly delighted. I know you were. I'm Frank Gifford along with Kathy, and what can we say? We were riveted like you were if you were with us earlier as we watched the men's figure skating tonight.
Frank, my stomach is still in knots, and every time they'd go up for a jump, I'd go up too. I think everybody gets so involved in this, and of course, everyone knows by now that the Battle of the Bryans is over. It came down to one judge's decision, basically, and we're going to talk about that a little later, but Brian Boitano of the U.S. did win America's first gold medal. A very good day for the U.S. because Eric Flame also won a silver medal in the men's 1,500-meter speed racing. So, excellent day.
And as you put it, the only prince we got didn't do too bad.
The only prince we've got did great. He took a royal run, Prince Albert of Monaco, of course, down that bobsled run, and came in a very respectable 23rd place.
Fine young man. He'll get a couple of more royal runs tomorrow in the two-man bobsled. And we think we have a good show coming your way tonight. We're going to preview the critical West Germany U.S. hockey game, critical for the U.S. if they are to make the medal round. And we're going to talk live to one of the stars of our team, Brian Leach. And we're going to preview the Super G. Now, that's a combination of the men's downhill and the giant slalom. The two favorites there, Pierman Zurbriggen, and you're going to meet Alberta Tomba of Italy. He's perhaps the hottest skier around. But the big story tonight, well, figure skating, Brian Boitano.
And we have Brian Boitano with us. David Santee is down at the Saddle Dome with Brian, and I'm sure he has a lot to say about this. David?
I'm here with the reigning Olympic champion, Brian Boitano, and his coach, Linda Lever. Brian, is that sunk in yet?
I don't think it'll ever sink in. I'm still trying to get a hold of the fact that I was 86 world champion. I don't think it will ever, and I think that's part of the magic of it. I think I came here only expecting to hopefully skate as well as I could. I really truthfully didn't care so much about the medals. I didn't care about the color of it. I just wanted to come and prove to myself that under such extreme types of pressures I could really hold it together and do it, and that's all I wanted to do, and I did it.
You knew going in that this was going to be the biggest moment in your skating career. As you stepped on the ice, what was going through your mind?
When I stepped on the ice, it was hard because there was a voice talking to you saying, this is it, this is the Olympics. But the other voice said, just treat it like another competition. You know how to do it. You've done it millions of times. So it was kind of a fight. It was a tug of war. And thank God Linda was there because all I have to do is look at Linda and she knows what I'm thinking. And I just said to myself, take one thing at a time, and if you take one thing at a time, you know how to do everything, and it can't go wrong if you just do everything that you tell yourself to do. And it was a fight, and it was an exhausting fight. This whole week was exhausting. It was like no competition I've ever been at, no feeling that I've ever experienced. It was pressure at its ultimate, and I'm more proud of myself getting through it with, I think, the best all-around competition I've ever skated in my life than anything else.
Linda, standing there on the side, you'd done all the work you could possibly do. What was going through your mind?
I was actually very calm, and I trusted that he would be able to do it really well. I thought he was going to skate great. From the time he landed the first jump, then I really knew he was on.
Congratulations, Olympic champion. Let's go back to Frank Gifford.
Thank you very much, David. It was so close tonight. It's too bad they don't give 2 gold medals. All nationalism aside, let's take a look at the scoring of the judges. It was so close. Boitano getting 5 first place, Orser 4 first place.
And interesting to note, Frank, that the U.S. U.S. judge picked, of course, Brian Boitano, and the Canadian judge picked, of course, Brian Orser. No politics at all.
And neutralizing themselves, would you say?
Yeah.
It was a marvelous performance. If you missed it, we are going to give it to you in its entirety. The gold medal performance of Brian Boitano. Joe? Did he know he had it?
The face said it all, didn't it?
Oh, you know, some people look at it as grace and artistry, interpretation. I look at him as one of the great athletes in the world. He is that.
Absolutely.
We have a couple of more great athletes who'll be...